This is my January 2014 show at the Burris Hall Art Gallery at New Mexico Highlands University. These are called windings. They are forged and flattened scrolls with 100-year-old wrought iron telegraph wire salvaged from the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe railroad right-of-way wrapped around them. I love the patina of the wire and the history of it. My clients often arrange these in wonderful gridwood work patterns on their walls. After always working in such a rural setting, it's fun to be here in Las Vegas, New Mexico, with cars going by and all the urban stuff. These are my colorful pahos and a chinlan ball. Much of my work is influenced by rivers and time spent by and along rivers, specifically the Pecos River right next to my shop and the Colorado River where I love to kayak. These incorporate naval bronze, a yellow bronze which forges nicely. Working with a large power hammer, I can hammer big pieces, in this case 2-inch square pieces of metal, and it moves like clay, and here I'm using that property of the process in my akaba sculptures. This is red spiral paho, paho sticks, rapidly forged, organic looking sticks arranged on an Archimedean spiral base. Power necklaces, and they really give the wearer a whole aura of power. A person changes when they put on one of these necklaces. Though, truth be told, they spend a lot of time on people's walls since there are only certain occasions appropriate for such powerful persona. Chinlans were inspired by the wicker balls my father brought back from Burma in 1954. They are also an Archimedean solid, the icosahedron, 20 equilateral triangles and 12 pentagons. I like to use geometric shapes, often contrasted with organic form. This is a 13-foot tall sculpture that I made for the World College, United World College in Montezuma, New Mexico, and it was made to honor their Bartos Institute for the Constructive Engagement of Conflict. Primordial Improvisations is a series. I make sculptures in series and return to the series often. Maybe a year or two later I'll return to a series, and the series will evolve in accordance with my own thought and evolution. That's part of the excitement for me of making these improvised sculptures. fire stellae are endless columns. They're made to just emerge from clients' lawns to look like they spring from the earth. They are forged steel, rusted, and held together with bronze connectors. It's a treat to have such a long, well-lit, white-walled space to display my work. I hardly ever get to see so much of it in one place at one time. At my own shop, I can only display a few pieces at once. The Fire River Rhythms, that's a tongue twister, the Fire River Rhythms series is shown here. In this series I'm using silicon bronze, a redder bronze, and exploiting the malleability of the metal, the way the feather forms thin and spread, the way the spirals are flattened and then further enhanced by hammering them over a ball mandrel. The process is outside of my control or absolute control, and the variations that occur are exciting to me, sort of the chance that propels the work in directions that I wouldn't have necessarily pre-planned. These are hung from fishing line, so the shadows on the wall add to the piece. And part of the fun of these pieces is they can be hung at any orientation, and a rotation of just 10 or 15 degrees will drastically alter the feeling of the piece. We like to display the pahos in sort of forests that people can walk amongst. The bright colors, I resisted at first. Being a traditionally trained blacksmith, I like the colors of steel, but for outdoor, the colors preserve the metal nicely and also make the work project from a much greater distance. I forged the individual paho sticks very, very rapidly, 60 or 80 at a time, and then in a more contemplative mindset, I put them together in arrangements that go together, accentuate each other. This is the Aspiration series of sculpture. It's very improvised. I make forms and keep them in a big pile on my table until the inspiration hits to put 3 or 4 of them together into a sculpture. Some of the aspirations incorporate movement. This one in particular has a couple pivot points, so if there's a breeze in the room or if someone taps it when they go by, it will oscillate back and forth. These are called river stelae. They're very organic, they're tendril stelae, sorry, very organic shapes, scrolls and squiggles, forged and flattened, and then arranged into columns. I once again enjoy the contrast of organic and geometric, and we're currently developing lighting to go inside these. So in my next video I hope to be able to show you some columnar lights. From the Depths of Fire, most of this series has sold, and I will be revisiting it soon. The interface sculpture here, inspired by dance. And the currents, also inspired by rivers. And then celebrations. Celebrations are fun. They are copper and wrought iron put together, squished under a big hammer, attached with wrought iron rivet with copper rivets. The wrought iron telegraph wire wasn't a great conductor, so the linesman had to make elaborate splices of where two pieces came together. I take these 100-year-old splices and squash them under my hammer and make them part of my sculpture, and then improvise on my own splices. And finally, the octet ring is my only cast iron sculpture in this show, made from remelted bathtubs and sinks and poured into a sand cast mold.